Hello and welcome to the ninth episode of the Real Serious Podcast. As always, I'm your host Hunter, along with Charles. Absolutely good morning to you, Charles. How are you, man?
Absolutely. Good morning to you too, Hunter. I'm well. I am doing well. It's a beautiful day. Planning on hanging out outside. It's gonna be a good one. Yeah,
No,
I'm
I'm with
living.
you. I,
Yeah.
I also think we need to get outside, especially because we went from 70 to snow to now back to 70. So we got to enjoy it while it lasts.
I was thinking maybe a little driving range.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't hate that idea. I'm in on that. I think
Yeah.
I'm very much in on that.
Yeah.
Um, so we have a lot to talk about. This is the most anticipated episode for me, at least, talking Dune. I'm very, very excited to get to the bottom of this episode, and we'll have a lot to talk about when we get there. But first, Charles, are you aware of what's going on with Wendy's? Because I have a bone to pick with
You have a
the
bone to
ginger
pick.
fast food restaurant.
I
Yeah.
can't say I'm. No, I'm not that familiar. No.
All right. As a podcast, we're taking this down. We are going to fight back against Wendy's.
What does Wendy's
They're
do?
introducing dynamic pricing.
What does that mean?
So if it's busier, the prices go up. If it's less
Bruh,
busy, the prices may go down.
that's
I
so
am
stinky.
fighting back.
Well, okay, wait. Will the prices actually go up, or will they remain the
Yes.
same? And then, if it's not busy, then to basically incentivize people to come into the store, then they'll bring the prices down from the normal amount or normal
My
rate.
understanding is it goes both ways.
That's the stinkiest thing I've ever heard.
So you might show up at 2 p.m. lunch rush and you got to pay $2 extra for your Baconator. And I will not allow this in this great country.
Are they getting like
This
a
is
bunch of hate for
bull.
that?
Yes, people are all over them. There's a lot of good memes about like stock market, like crypto bros, and they're instead of trading crypto, they're trading Baconators. That's a positive out of this. Um, but besides that, it's so stupid. Like if I want a Frosty should be the same price no matter when I go.
Yeah,
Um,
that like shouldn't be a thing. I would understand if prices remain the same if it's busy. And like they
yeah,
go down, maybe like they cut 50 cents off to incentivize people to come in if they're not busy, just to like keep sales up. But like constant alternation, or now alternation's not the right word, but constant fluctuation of the prices just like based on how busy it is sounds like way more work and also just like kind of bullshit for the consumer.
yeah. Like, could you be in line and then as you're getting closer to the register, the prices go up? Like,
That's a
I
good
don't get how
question.
fast this works.
That's a
Like,
really good question.
and also, I guess if you're like in a busier one, like if you're in the middle of nowhere, the price probably remain pretty constant. But like if you're in New York City or something and you're trying to get Wendy's, like how quickly are these changing? Like, are you gonna need an app to tell you instantaneously like the prices are now down and then you rush there? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, you like try
I
to
don't know.
order and then like it cancels. Like prices have changed. Please put the order back in.
Yeah, or please send us more money. Prices
Yeah.
have changed. This
Yeah,
is dumb.
that's stupid. That's silly.
So this is why we as a podcast are gonna get this stopped. We are for the
We are
people.
anti Wendy's. That's our
We are
stance.
anti Wendy's. We're gonna
All right.
boycott Wendy's until this gets figured out.
Heck yeah.
Yes, that goes for everyone also in the community. So yeah, that was my Wendy's talk that I really wanted to get out of the way.
Our
But yeah, that
Wendy's
was
talk.
well, clearly you didn't know anything about it until I brought it up,
But we
but
talked
it's
about it,
fine.
didn't we?
We did talk about it.
Little
So we'll get
scumbag.
into news today. A lot less news than usual, which I think is good, just because we're gonna talk about the review a lot. Just trailers, some pretty decent trailers this
That's what
week.
I was
I'm
thinking, yeah.
I'm very excited to talk about.
Well, I think
Uh,
two of them looked really good, and then
See, I thought
yeah.
three of them looked pretty good.
Oh shoot, I missed one.
Unbelievable, this guy. Then we'll get into Dune 2, and then we're doing a best sequels draft, which tells you slightly about my opinion of Dune 2, at least.
Is that
But
going
yeah,
one
so
one? I sure hope it is, because that's like pretty far down the list for me.
I guess you have to listen to find out.
Alright.
News. Dune 2 has become the highest rated film of all time on IMDb. Not
How
shocking.
okay, how up to date is that? As of this
That
morning,
was
as of
as of a
yesterday?
few days ago. Let's see. Let's
Okay,
see. Let
I
me
would
double
like to
check.
see what it is after more people. If that's as of like Friday or Saturday, then fine. But if that's as of before it was released Thursday, then I think it's a little capped.
It is now tied for third.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
It
Reason I
is
say
it
that is
is behind Shawshank, The Godfather, and tied with The Dark Knight and The Godfather Part 2.
all right. That's fair. Reason I say that is because the people that when it was rated number one, that was with all the early screening, all the early showings. So like the people that had gone were diehard Dune fans. So of course they're gonna rate it really high, you know.
Me and the fellow Dune heads.
But you know what I mean?
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So
Um, so yeah,
cool.
so that is up there. The Accountant 2 is apparently coming. Have you ever seen The Accountant, Charles?
Mm-mm, no.
The Accountant is a very strange movie starring Ben Affleck and Anna Kendrick about a guy who is literally an accountant and also kind of a super secret spy agent guy. It's not
What?
great. Yeah, it's not great. Also kind of awesome at the same time.
That sounds great. I'm not gonna lie to you. That sounds like
Yeah,
pretty epic.
he kills people and then is like, "Oh, you're cooking the books." Um,
So
really
it's literally the
weird, but
beekeeper, but an accountant instead.
yes, and he's like an autistic accountant who's like going after money launderers. Anyway, they're making another one apparently. So all of you accountant heads out there, get ready because it's coming. I guess I don't
Is he like?
fully understand why.
Is he actually on the spectrum?
Yes, like that's a plot point in the movie.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
then it's him and John Bernthal are coming back because John Bernthal's like his brother in the movie.
Is his hyperfixation on like being a spy? Is that kind of like the
No,
point
it's
of the
more on the
movie?
numbers.
Oh, okay. So his hyper. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. That sounds
correct.
cool.
Yeah,
And when is Accountant 2 coming out?
they're filming this year, so
It's like next year.
decent. Yeah,
All right. Cool.
I guess. Yeah, a little weird that it took a decade to basically get the Accountant 2. I guess Accountant fans are
Hey,
scrambling.
maybe in a year and a half, this Accountant 2 could be in our top five sequels of all time.
Yeah, we'll be talking about the Accountant 2 up there with some of the greats,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Up there with Back to the Future
Um,
2.
we don't have much Marvel news, so round of applause for everyone who doesn't care to listen to Marvel news.
That's huge.
Thunderbolts has started to film, and Miles Morales is apparently in Spider-Man 4, which we've talked about like a bunch of times. So, pretty
Nothing new.
sweet. Yeah, Thunderbolts, I don't know. I'm not like super excited for that. I,
Considering
I
that
just I think that they need to do some other stuff with it.
considering that I didn't see Secret Invasion, I'm not. I'll like have to catch up, but I'm not really anticipating this very much. This isn't really one of those movies that I'm looking forward to. I don't really know anything about it though, so that might contribute to that. But I'll watch it. You know, it's Marvel. We consume,
Yep, we're sheep.
so
We are sheep.
we're
Hand
sheep.
up. But then Miles Morales, I think we've talked about it a bunch of times. It makes sense to introduce him in 4, maybe give him his powers in 5, have them be Spider-Men together in 6.
Now
Like
that we're
it
men.
seemed now that we're men, we are the Spider-Men.
Now that we're
Like I
men.
think it's pretty obvious the plan. I just hope that it gets done because it seems like I was thinking about the other day. No Way Home was what, 2021? We're now in 2024 and we haven't got a confirmed
It's been a minute. But to be
timeline.
fair, Tom Holland was like kind of in limbo during a year of that, and then he stepped away from acting for another year of that. So like they really haven't had the opportunity to do anything.
Yeah, but I just am shocked it's like not in the calendar where they're like, "Hey,
Yeah,
coming summer 2026, like be ready,
yeah,
Spider-Man's back."
yeah. That's fair. That's a good point.
So, I don't I'm just still excited for it. I think that I hope that they kind of do a more grounded story. We'll have to wait and see though.
I think you hope for a street level story, right?
That is correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's about what I thought.
That is correct. Yes. Very good observation
Yeah,
based on knowing me.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, that was Marvel talk, and we're not talking about any more Marvel the rest of the day. So, good job.
huge.
That's very different from our usual podcast, so
Very
I'm
different.
pretty happy
Usually
about
we
that.
spend about 50% of the news on Marvel.
What? No way.
You don't
So
think
the
50?
Oscars,
I'd say 30
no,
to 50.
no, it definitely is. It's definitely a
Yeah,
lot.
like 30 to 50.
No, 100%. So the Oscars are this week, Sunday, March 10th. Um, and Ryan Gosling will be performing "I'm Just Ken" in person at the Oscars. Kind of awesome.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
I mean, why? Like,
Like, why is he doing that?
yeah, I feel like
Because it's sweet.
yeah, okay.
You don't want to see him do that live?
I do
I
want to
would.
see him. I was getting mixed up when he. I was thinking he was very disdainful towards that song because of what happened at the I think it was the Golden Globes where like he got nominated for the song instead of Billie Eilish and then he looked like just like kind of pissed.
Yeah, I
But I
think he
don't.
knows
There's
it's
definitely
kind of
no
a joke.
disdain. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that it's a positive for his career. I'm just so sick and tired of Jimmy Kimmel hosting. I don't
Jimmy
want to see
Kimmel's
Jimmy
hosting.
Kimmel.
Jimmy Kim. He's the worst.
Yes,
He's a
like I'm so
stinker.
tired of Jimmy Kimmel hosting and all this stuff. Like
Make it Jimmy Fallon
anyone else.
host.
Yeah, or I'll take Fallon. I'll take like anybody else at this point. It's just so like fake jokes that are not funny.
Yeah.
Oh well. I don't know. We'll be watching it, I guess, and we'll talk about the pod. But just annoying, I think.
Yeah.
Oh well, it used to be
Well,
fun.
we're gonna have
What?
to cut this out. I have to go grab my charger.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Pausing.
And we are a go.
I paused my recording, so okay. Ready?
I did not.
All right. So now let's get to the next piece of news. Bad Boys 4. Have you seen any of the Bad Boys movies, Charles?
I have not.
You are missing.
I
Okay,
feel like you
we're
knew
doing
that.
this.
You could have
I
guessed that.
know. I know. Whatever. Anyway, it comes out this year. I think Bad Boys 3, which was Bad Boys for Life, which is stupid. Now looking back on it, they're doing a fourth one. They didn't call that one For Life. Um, yeah, it comes out this summer. They were filming in Miami last week. Comes out in June. I think this has a chance to be really, really good. So I hope it is because the last one I think was decent. I think that it's definitely going in the right direction. So yeah, I'm in. I'm in on this.
Cool. I trust your judgment. I don't have much input because I haven't seen it, but if you're in, I'm in.
Hey, thanks, man. Well, these next two pieces of news are for you.
They're
So,
for me. Okay.
well, kind of. TMNT, Mutant Mayhem, one of your
Oh,
favorites from last year,
beautiful.
finally has a release date, and it will come out in October 9th, 2026.
I
So
did
that's
see
in this.
this, which is like it's so long. Like that's so far away.
Not really, though, for an animated movie, 3 years.
Okay. Yeah,
I
just
don't know. I
kidding.
think
God.
I feel like that's pretty normal. I mean, think about Kung Fu Panda. That's been almost a decade.
Well, I don't think they intended to make a fourth one for a while, and then someone thought, "Hey, you know what we should do? Make a fourth Kung Fu Panda." I don't think that was in the works. You know?
I guess so. Yeah, no, that's okay. That's fair. That's fair. Um, this also won Lord of the Rings, the TV show on Amazon Prime. Being our resident Tolkien head,
So Rings
did
of
you
Power.
watch it? Yes.
I was going to watch it, and I heard really bad things, so I didn't watch it.
Oh my God. This guy, dude. You
What
gotta
do you
watch
mean,
this
this
stuff.
guy?
This is your thing.
I know it's my thing, but I'm not gonna watch it if it's just like kind of booty. I
But
want to
what if your
consume
opinion is
good.
that it's good?
I mean, yeah, that's a possibility, but I just never got around to it. When did it come out? Last winter?
It came out last winter. Season 2 comes out sometime this year. But the news is that they're already working on season 3. So at least they feel good enough about season 2 to kind of go forward with it.
All right. You know
Yeah.
what? I'll watch it and I'll provide some input in a few weeks. How about that?
All right. I appreciate that. No, thank you.
Yeah.
We got our first look at Tron Ares. Exciting, exciting. Did you ever
Tron
see Tron
Ares.
Legacy, Charles?
No, we've had this conversation. I have not seen it.
God damn it.
I'm
What
catching
is
up
the
on
point?
movies, bro. I'm
Okay,
getting there.
well, whatever.
But
Tron
a lot of
Ares is
heat.
coming. First look at it, looks pretty actually sick. Got the red suit with the red lights. I think this cast is great, except for Jared Leto, who we are anti on the podcast. But I'm kind of excited for this. I think. I think I'm excited for it.
I think it could be pretty good.
It seems like
From
the story for this is the reverse of the last movie, where instead of a human going to the computer world, it seems like it's a program coming to our world,
hmm.
which I
I just
kind of like.
I just imagine this will look really good on the big screen. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
I think we need to see this one in IMAX.
Yeah,
So,
that's kind of why I'm excited. I think it's just gonna look good. Maybe it's a bad story, but
um, I know, and I just think that these are just like, especially the last one, like Tron Legacy is one of the more beautiful movies I've seen in like a long time,
hmm.
and so I just maybe that'll come up later in our sequels draft. Spoiler alert, it will not, but still.
Well, you don't know
Um,
about my list.
oh, that's right, because you've seen it. I forgot about that. And then let's talk about one of my favorite directors working right now, Damien Chazelle. So Damien Chazelle, I would say best known for La La Land and probably, yeah, probably La La Land is probably his number one thing people know him for.
And
Um,
Babylon,
and Babylon. So this actually ties to Babylon. After Babylon, which was a complete commercial failure,
dumpster fire.
yes, he has now come out and said he's worried he may not get another shot with a budget like that or even in general. And that bums me out. I'm not gonna lie. That like really makes me sad because I think arguably he's one of the best working directors and writers today. And like, why are we why are we putting people in director's jail for this? It's just stupid.
Cause he came out with some stinkers.
He came out with one that I arguably would say was a decent movie.
I thought he came out with two.
No.
Oh,
So it was Whiplash, La La Land, First Man, then Babylon,
oh, yeah. Okay.
which are great movies.
Dang, that stinks. Meanwhile, this other guy who directed Madam Web or wrote Madam Web has gotten chances with all of these other movies that are terrible.
Yeah, dude wrote Morbius, and they're like, we should hire him again, and then they
Yeah.
made him write Madam Web. So yeah, it's just like it sucks that this is the way it works. Like obviously, it's the business and everything, but still stupid.
Yeah.
Um, and then last piece of news, we're already on the last piece of news, which is insane. Superman Legacy, now retitled Superman, has started production,
I
and we got our
know.
first look at the logo. Oh baby.
Yep, that's Superman.
Oh baby. Okay. What is wrong with you? It looks awesome. What are you saying?
Yeah, looks good.
What? You are a professional hater
I'm
today.
not a professional hater.
Yeah, you are. I think it
You're
looks great. It's
you're a bigger
bright. It looks
Superman.
blue.
Those are both two things I never would have guessed out of Superman. Bright and blue.
Okay, well, recently his suit has been the opposite of that, so I think that it's a great choice.
Recently, it's been dark and blue.
Yeah, which is not what I want. I want bright, I want colorful, I want fun, and that's what I'm
You,
getting.
your suits for Spider-Man and Superman are the exact same. Bright and blue. Your favorite
What do you
suit
mean?
your favorite Spider-Man suit is the new one that Tom Holland is wearing, and
Yes,
it's
because it
very
looks
bright and
like
blue.
comic Spider-Man, which is
Yeah.
bright and blue.
Okay. I just think it's funny.
Yeah, because I want fun, bright characters. I think in the same way that like it's lame that we've had a Wolverine for almost two
Yeah,
decades that's
that's
been
true.
in like
It's a good
dark
point.
navy.
It's a good point.
Yeah. Like I want my comic book characters fun and comic booky.
That's a great
Um,
point.
thanks, man. Hey, I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yep.
Hey, we did it. End of news. That's the fastest news segment we've had.
That was really quick. What was that, like 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Right about. Wow.
18 minutes, 55 seconds.
We rock.
We're so good.
We rock on.
Oh, I realized we didn't talk about what we watched this last week.
Oh, that's right. You want to go
What
first
did
this
you watch
time?
this
I
week?
feel like I always go first.
Yeah. No, I can go first. Pull up my letterbox here, which you should be following, and if you're not, it is linked in the bio. So be sure to give me a follow, along with Charles, because we post a lot. All right, looking back, last Sunday, Dune Part Two, and then I watched Police Story, which was incredible. I highly recommend. Um, it is Jackie Chan in 1985, just a very awesome story. Skyfall, great James Bond, and then I rewatched Paddington 1 and 2. Um, then we went and saw Dune Part 2 again. Talk about it soon. And then Man of Steel, watched yesterday.
Nice, man.
And yeah, the Superman news really made me want to watch Man of Steel, so we sat down and watched it.
It was super good. Um,
Oh, you're such a hater. I
um,
admit it's not great.
yeah, I watched Dune Part Two twice.
Yep.
Um, I'll give my opinions later. I watched
Hmm.
School of Rock, all-time classic,
Correct.
all-time great movie. That movie's actually it rocks. It rocks, pun intended.
Yeah.
I watched Paddington. First time watching that. That was also the best. Incredibles 2 and Man of Steel. Both were a little mid, but watched them, enjoyed them, was present.
Incredibles 2 definitely mid. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into trailers, and then let's speed through these trailers 'cause we want to get to Dune. That's what people want. That's
Yeah.
what we want.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1. This is part 1 of a movie that comes out. This one comes out in June. Then the sequel, I guess, part 2 comes out in August. Chronicles a multifaceted 15-year span of pre and post Civil War expansion and settlement in the American West. This looks incredible.
This looks so good. This
Like
looks
I'm
awesome.
not. This looks awesome.
This yeah. The
Like
trailer was a little long. I will say that.
agreed. I was like, all right, I get it. I get it.
It was like
Cut it
three and a
up.
half minutes, and it got to like the 2:45 mark, and I'm like, how are we still going? Like, I know it. I understand the
Yes.
movie. I'm with it. I'm like here for it. Like, you can just, you got me.
And also,
But
I love that it's like this trailer is like the Avengers of B-list actors in like the best possible way. And I'm very excited for this.
yeah, this
And I
looks really
think
good. The music looks really
I
good. It
guess
sounds
Kevin
really good.
Costner like put his house up on the line just to
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
finance
yeah.
this movie.
That's what you said.
Like this looks so good. I don't know. Maybe it's just because we haven't had a cowboy movie in a long time that I'm just excited for it for that reason. But
Yeah,
in on this.
me too.
So yeah, I guess we'll
When
talk
is
about
this
that when it
released?
comes out this summer. So part 1 comes out in June 28th, and then part 2 is August 16th.
Cool.
So yeah. Then up next, The Watchers. A young artist gets stranded in an extensive, immaculate forest in Western Ireland, where, after finding shelter, she becomes trapped along 3 strangers, stalked by mysterious creatures each night. I had this written down that it was M. Night Shyamalan. He is a producer on it, but actually, it is from Yasha Shyamalan, who I believe is his daughter,
Oh, okay. This movie
I
doesn't look good.
think. Yeah,
This movie does
it
not look good.
felt very M. Night, which obvious. Um, can't tell. Is it his daughter or sister? Yeah, daughter. Okay, it's his daughter. Um, I don't know. There's something about it which doesn't seem great, but also I kind of like the style of it with like the yellowy
I liked the
building.
style and I liked the music, but yeah, it just doesn't seem. I don't like
This
horror
looks
to
like
begin
the
with.
definition of like a 6 out of 10, which
I would
isn't a
I would
bad thing.
I would probably say lower if I'm being honest, but that it might also because I'm not a horror guy. So
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
yeah,
I
it
mean, I
just
think
didn't
we'll
look good
probably
for me.
see it. I liked M. Night's Last Offering, so it seems like he's pretty heavily involved with this, so I'm sure it'll be decent.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. I assume the one you didn't watch because I added it late was The Strangers Chapter 1.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll talk about that right now. Strangers Chapter 1. A young couple drive cross country towards a new beginning. Unfortunately, they have no choice but to stop in a scheduled Airbnb in Oregon. and endure a night of terror against three masked strangers. So, Charlie, are you familiar at all with the concept of the strangers?
Um, I feel like I am now, or am I not?
Are you like, no, probably not.
Okay, then I'm not.
Okay, so the strangers is an incredible idea for a horror film. Basically, in like most horror, it's like, oh, they come after you because it's like you're related, or like it's like the teens that they don't want, I don't know, that the bad guys hate or whatever, you know?
Hmm.
In this, the whole thing about the strangers is they just kill you because you just happen to be at home. Like they're like that's their thing. So like in the first movie, like the first strangers, the wife is like, "Why are you doing this?" And she's like, "Just because you were home." Like that's just how like terrifying people
Jeez.
are. So I think, from my understanding, this is supposed to be an origin story of the strangers, like how they became the strangers. Um, but yeah, I think this looks pretty decent. Like especially for schlocky horror, I think
Hmm.
that you can't go wrong. Like as long as you hit the basics of
Right.
good jump scares, and all that, I think that you can do it right. But what is confusing is I think that this is a multi-part movie because okay, this is chapter one, but I think chapter two and chapter three come out this year in theaters, just at different points in the year, which is
What is
weird
with
because
all
I don't
these
I don't know. This is
same movie universes releasing in the same year? The Beatles in a
I
few
don't know.
years, Horizons, and now this.
Yeah, I'm a little confused by it, to be honest. But
This is kind of unprecedented, right? Like people don't. This hasn't been done before.
so the only time I can think about it is I believe that I think that Back to the Future 2 and 3 came out within a year of each other. Obviously Avengers, but
I don't think that
most
was within a
re
year. I think that was over a year later.
but it was like a year.
Okay.
Like I think it was a year. The only time I can think about it is last year on Netflix. They had it was like a horror anthology thing called Fear Street, and those all connected, and they came out like 2 weeks from each other.
But like historically,
I don't know. I
aside
don't
from the
think
past
so.
few years,
Let's
maybe
see.
the
Movies with
capabilities to do it
sequels.
faster are better now, but
Let's see. Okay. Um, so The Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions came out in the same year.
okay.
Um, I guess a Hellraiser movie came out in the same year.
I mean, I do think it's smart because it keeps like people are still interested.
This one's pretty interesting. So there's a movie called Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima, both directed by Clint Eastwood, showing two sides of the battles of Iwo Jima during World War II.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Um, X and Pearl, which was recently, which I really enjoy those. But yeah, that seems like all this article really talks about. So
Hmm.
yeah, not, huh, interesting.
Interesting.
Oh, I guess the James Bond also came out in the same year, which is weird that they would do that. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, I guess Strangers Chapter 1. So May 17th, probably should go
Cool.
see it. I'll force you to go see it. Don't worry. All right, do you want to talk about I Saw the TV Glow or the Bike Riders?
Um, let's just talk about the TV Glow.
Okay. Two teenagers bond over supernatural TV show, but that is mysteriously canceled. Apparently, this is incredible.
Really?
Allegedly, like everyone I've seen on social media and stuff who've seen it early at like film festivals have said it's outstanding.
Wow.
I know, which is what I also thought.
I mean, I think the trailer was fine. I didn't think it was. It didn't blow me away. I'd say Bike Riders, which we're going to talk about in a few. I think
That
that
was
looks.
more interesting. I think that looks better.
I think it looked incredible, and I think Horizon looked incredible. TV Glow is kind of just like, okay, yeah, it's a movie. It looks fine. Um,
Yeah, I like the concept of it. Like that there's like this TV show they used to watch that like maybe
I
wasn't a TV show.
I didn't fully understand the concept of it from the
I
trailer. Like, I
think
think
it's
I would
that
have
they
had to watch it
watched a
again.
TV show when they were a kid, and it's like the TV show coming back to haunt them or something. I don't know. Like I kind of like that idea. It's very
But it's not
interesting.
really horror. It looks more like a thriller.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, well, cool. I'm
I
here
don't know.
for it.
I,
If
I
it's
really
good, I'm
like
excited.
Justice Smith, so I'll kind of see anything he's in.
Is he the main actor, the leading
Correct.
actor? Yeah. From the trailer, I was thinking he looked really good.
So I think we'll go see that
And
probably.
is
At least I'd like to.
the leading actress, is that what's her name? What's her name?
It's Bridget Lundy Page Payne.
What is who's Uma Thurman's daughter?
Oh, Maya Hawke.
It's not
Not
Maya
Maya Hawke.
Hawke.
It is not Maya Hawke.
Okay, it kind of looked
No,
like her at some points.
it does look like her, but it's not. Okay, and then finally, the Bike Riders, which this was going to be on my list of top five most anticipated for the year, but I wasn't sure it was going to release this year, so I didn't have it there. Uh, this looks awesome. So, quick
It looks
synopsis
so good.
follows the Midwestern Motorcycle Club as it evolves over the course of a decade from a gathering place for local outsiders into more of a sinister gang, threatening the original group's way of life. This looks awesome.
It looks really good.
Like, I'm so excited for this.
If I could go back in time and do like top five anticipated, this would be in there if I knew what it was about. And what's that other one with Henry Cavill that just
Oh, the
looks
Ministry of Ungentlemanly
unhinged?
Soldiers.
That one would be up
Yeah,
there too.
no, I'm with you. That one looks awesome.
Like this looks really good. Bike Riders
I just love the Austin Butler voice that's continuing. It's very funny.
in Austin,
In Austin.
in Austin.
In Austin. Norman Reedus being in a biking movie is all I need to know. And Tom Hardy has a very funny voice in this. So,
Yeah, he does.
but this was
In
supposed to come
Austin.
out last year, I believe in December, and then it got delayed. So,
Weird.
yeah, we're back. Who's back of the week? Us.
We are.
Um, has he not directed anything since Mud? That's weird. Oh no, he did Midnight Special, which I don't remember liking all that much. Okay, let us do it.
Is it
It
time?
is now time for Dune.
Okay. Is
Dune
this
2.
spoiler
Okay,
free or spoiler? I think it should be
I
spoiler.
was thinking about this. I think we should do spoiler free,
Okay.
and then we can get into spoiler because I think that allows people to get a good idea of it. I think with that we should mention either side of it. It is very important you see Dune 1 before watching this movie. Like
Yes.
extremely important.
Yes, it
This is
is.
very much a part 2 of the story.
You will actually have no idea what's going on.
Correct.
Like
Okay.
literally no idea.
No spoiler. I think we should give our number out of 100. And I
Yeah, I
think that
also
we
think we
should.
should say if you don't really care about Dune, skip to this point in the podcast. You know? Like skip to a certain point because I feel like we're going to be talking about Dune for a while.
Yeah.
And if you don't
If
care
you
then
if you don't care about Dune, then what are you doing? First and foremost, what are you doing?
okay.
Because Dune is incredible. Okay.
To
I
some
think you
people,
should go
yeah.
first. I think you should go first.
Um okay. Sure, I'll go first. Out of
Yeah, yeah.
100, first time watching it, I gave it a 70, 3.5 stars. Um, I think that, okay, you know what? I'll say this. First time watching it, 70. Second time watching it, 80. 80 to 85. Probably closer to an 85. First time I watched it, I held it to the exact same standard as the book. And if you've read the book and you do hold it to the same standard, you will be extremely disappointed. And I was very disappointed, and I was kind of sad because I enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the first movie. I heard the reviews about this movie, and I was like, oh my God, we're going to see some of these incredible storylines and plot points in the book in live in movie format, and I was really stoked. And they left a lot of stuff out, and they made a lot of adaptations that I disagreed with. Um, and so, first time watching it, I left it, and I was like, that was bullshit. Like, I'm really kind of pissed off with the direction they went. Second time watching it, I went in with a different mindset of I treated it basically as something completely independent, like nothing based off of anything, like just strictly as a movie with everything that I know from the first movie. So I basically just like scrapped my entire interpretation of the book and went in with just movie kind of opinions, with
Yep.
that idea. And I liked it a lot more. That's why I'd say probably an 85. I still think it's slow at some points, which is like definitely the way that the director in like prefers to tell a story. After watching Sicario and the first one, like the director, what's his name? Denis.
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah. Um, he just prefers to tell a story in kind of a more, I'd say, visually in a more visual way rather than actually like concretely dialogue having the story go along that way like most movies.
Yep.
And so if you like that, great, then you'll love this. If you don't like that as much, you'll probably think it's a little slow. So I thought it was a little slow at times. Cinema, like based off of cinematography and visuals, probably one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. I can easily say that's top 3 to 5, but it was just a little slow, and a couple of I think Zendaya's acting job was very poor, and I don't discredit her as an actor or actress because I've seen her in other stuff and I think that she's great, but I think that she plays in this movie more of a defiant role, you know,
Yeah.
like she's kind of against the grain a little bit, and she's really like fighting the current when I say it in that way because she's the only one that's defiant. Everyone else is completely faithful to Paul, and she's the only one defiant. And I don't think that's a big spoiler. You can kind of tell that in the trailer. And so I don't think that she plays the defiant role very well. And so that brings the rating down a lot too because I didn't take it very seriously. So overall, holding it to the book standard, very disappointing. As a movie, though, very good.
All right. Awesome.
That was kind of long. I hope that's okay.
No, I think that was important. I think because we're talking about a lot of different aspects of this.
Okay.
Um, when I first saw it, I felt that it was one of the greatest science fiction films ever made. I gave it 98 out of 100, 5 stars. When I saw it again, it confirmed my feeling, and I moved it up to a 99 out of 100. I think it is almost a perfect film across the board, from the visual storytelling to the way that the story is handled to the intricacies of each individual character having their own kind of opinions and the way that their politics are shown. I think is incredible. I also think it is one of the more visually stunning films I've ever seen. There's a few shots specifically that are in the trailer, like the one being Paul walking through all of the people of the South is just incredible. I mean, I cannot say enough good things about this movie. I think that Timothy delivers a not only career performance but one of the better performances of all time. I mean, I just blown away by the way he handles this role, especially his transition from the beginning to the end. Um, I think that my biggest gripe is I wish that Fade Rotha had more screen time. I think that that would have been definitely a little bit better if he was a little bit more, just more involved in the story. Um, but overall, I think it is an incredible testament to filmmaking and truly is an epic on a scale that we have not seen in a very long time. And I do mean this in a way looking back. I think in the last 2 years, we've gotten some great, if not wonderful films. Looking at Oppenheimer, looking at Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part One. Um, but this is just, I think, on a different level. And I think it is one of the more incredible things I've ever seen put to screen. And it just blows me away that it's not only it's just possible that it exists. Um, so yeah, I give it a 99 out of 100. It is about as close to perfect as you can get. Just incredible, all over the board. Um, I think that that is probably the end of our non spoiler section. Unfortunately, just because I think we're gonna get into the weeds.
Yeah.
Which, look, I think by this point, if you are not interested in seeing Dune, then listen to the spoiler section because if you're not interested in seeing it, I don't think you're ever gonna see it. listen to why we feel differently about it, and if you have seen it, let us know if you agree with each person, because I think that we each disagree with points just for different reasons. So I honestly think that we should do this by going maybe from. I think we should start with specific characters.
Okay. I do think that we each have very justified opinions, especially after talking. So we went when we went to see it again. We went with um, a couple of my buddies from home, or my buddy from home and his roommate, and
Yes.
um, and we both articulated our opinions after, and both they had both read the book. Okay, so
Yeah.
they could understand both opinions. They pretty much agreed with both of us.
I think that we should start with Chani because of this.
Yeah, they
All right,
agreed
let's.
with me because like they were like, yeah, in the book they do this, and like in the movie it was different. And then they were like, but we still love the movie. So
All right, so let's start with Chani, who is Zendaya. Let's start there. So why do you not like her as a character?
okay, so my biggest gripe with Dune Part Two and Shani's character is she is very. I said this in the spoiler free, but very defiant, and she's pretty against Paul and pretty hesitant to open
Hmm.
Paul up to the Fremen. And in the book, she's kind of like she's very nurturing, very towards Paul, and very comforting and patient, and pretty much there for him constantly.
Yep.
And in the movie, she just doesn't want to accept Paul for who he is, which was very weird for me to watch the first time because when Zendaya's character, when Shani's just like completely against Paul and like in front of all these people calling him out, it's like this is just this bullshit. Like this isn't who she is. This is a different character, and so it's kind of hard for me to accept. Also, in the book, I think in the movie, the fact that they left this out supports this new Shani. In the book, they have a kid. They have the Leto Jr. pretty much, or like they have a son named Leto, and the son is killed by the Harkonnens because they go down south and kill a bunch of Fremen, and that's when they're like, this is when Paul and all the Fremen are about to attack Arrakeen. So Paul's like my son is dead, and then he attacks. So that helps in the book to make Shani a lot more devoteful to Paul because they share that kid, that child. And in the movie, the fact that they left that out, I think supports this new Shani, but it's still it didn't seem right. In the book, at the end, Paul tells Chani basically like I'm going to marry this princess, but it's just for a title. Everything else, my love and my affection and my all of my care will be for you. This is just a title. And Chani completely understands that. And in the movie, Chani doesn't bow to him. She just dips and leaves. So didn't it just I didn't like that new Chani. I also don't think Zendaya playing this character was I don't think she played it well. I think it was a bad cast, like a
Okay.
bad role for her. Um, so yeah, that's my
Um,
opinion.
so here's why I think that every change was better. um, so looking first at her devotion to Paul, I think that she does. And I think what she devotes to Paul is Paul as who he is, not as who he is going to become. Because to her, the titles mean nothing. She doesn't believe that he will become the Liza Al Gaib because she doesn't believe in that as a religion. And so for her, she loves Paul for who he is. And she says that to him repeatedly of like, I love you for who you are, and he's like, well, I might have to change, and she goes, you don't have to change because like you can just be you. And so for her, it's not what she's trying to do. She doesn't want to push him down this path. And I also think that for her who doesn't believe in it, she has such a anti-belief that it becomes a religion to her, where it's this whole the whole thing is this commentary on religion, where Stilgar is the opposite of Chani, where Stilgar believes so much that he almost forces his mind to, even in moments where Paul maybe does something that's not what Delisa Al Gaib would do, he tricks himself into saying that's exactly what Delisa Al Gaib would do. Where Chani is the opposite, where even though Paul does things that is what the Lisa Al Gaib would do, she doesn't believe so much that she'll just say, "Oh, it's not." And so it's this good dichotomy of these two characters where you see it as, "Oh, I believe so much in the opposite that I'll force myself that way," whereas Stilgard is the opposite. As for the ending, where she walks away, Paul says to her, "I will still love you forever as long as I breathe." And then instantly says to the princess, "I will marry you," because of the implications. In that moment, Chani obviously understands what he's doing, but she doesn't think it's right. And I think that's a much more interesting character, especially with the Chani that was introduced in the films, who only really cares about Arrakis. She doesn't care about anything else besides Arrakis and the Fremen. And I think that to her, she doesn't like she understands Paul has to worry about the universe in and of itself, but she doesn't care. She just wants the Fremen to exist. And even in the end, she wears the blue wrap around her arm, which to the Fremen people is when you're in love, you wear the blue wrap around your arm. So even in the moments where it's she's angry with him and she doesn't want him to carry on, she's still deeply in love with him. And I think that that's an important kind of note to have for her. I do agree with you in the fact that I think Zendaya is definitely the weakest of this cast, but I just think it's because she's surrounded by people who are incredible. And for her, I think she acted the best that she could, but she's just not at the skill level as the people around her, which makes it obvious when you watch it.
I think it
But
was miscast.
I do. I kind of agree with you. I do. I think that she definitely fits the role well, except for in the serious moments. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, I think all the changes were positive. I think then looking also at Lady Jessica, who has a lot of changes, I also think the changes were better because of the fact that Lady Jessica became this driving force. And I think it says a lot about religion in and of itself, where people who are outsiders come to local lands and force religion onto people and make them believe, and which is what Lady Jessica did. And I think that that is a very strong commentary that works really well. I also think from the fact that she is supposed to be such a high level, um, you know, of the Bene Gesserit, that it works really well that she knows everything about the Lisa Al Gaib, and so she should be able to force Paul to make those choices to then set himself up to have the possibility of becoming it, which he then ended up doing.
See, the problem I disagree with that. I agree with some of that, and I disagree with some of that. I agree it is interesting the whole religion aspect, basically like presenting your religion onto people and making them believe like that is how religion works, to spread the religion. Problem I have with Lady Jessica is I prefer Paul to be, and I, you said that this doesn't work in a movie format, and you might be right, but this is just the way I view Paul. Paul is like the guy. He knows everything. He knows more than anyone, more than Lady Jessica. He knows everything he needs to do. And the problem I have with Lady Jessica is she's kind of a puppeteer in this movie. Like she's constantly like, you need to drink the water of life. You need to do this. We need to get these people on your side. Whereas in the book, she like fears Paul pretty much the entire time. Paul knows so much and is so arrogant about it that she's like fearful of like what he has become.
I just
And
think that makes Paul unlikable.
that's the point.
No, but I
We
think
see
that by
Paul at the
the
beginning.
end,
He's young, he's inexperienced, he's
but I think
innocent,
that that's what the
he's never
movie does as
killed.
well. Is the
Nah,
movie make because I think the movie is supposed to have Zendaya as Chani be the moral soul, where initially it was Paul, but as Paul progresses and then does take the water of life, you see that this does corrupt everyone. And I think that it works in that aspect of the religion then corrupts all, except for those who choose to believe in themselves, which is Chani.
I need to read the second book to see what happens there because you could be right about a lot of stuff, or I could be a lot of right about a lot. I could like these changes in the movie could play well into the next book, and I don't know. So I could be wrong about a
But
lot of
see, I
things, but
think Paul, after he takes the water of life, becomes that character that you're talking about. He
See,
becomes
but
the
I think
all-knowing.
he
He
should be
sees,
that character before. I think once
but then that defeats the purpose of the water of life, doesn't it?
no, it doesn't.
But
The
then
whole
what's the
thing
difference between
is
before and after the
after
water of life?
after the Duke Leto passes, after he gets murdered,
Yeah.
that's when Paul basically kind of starts unlocking part of his Kwisatz Haderach. When he's in the tent with Lady Jessica, he starts getting these visions. He's like what did you do to me? This is like what is wrong with me? And then he starts getting more and more powerful, and he realizes I need to take the water of life to unlock all, like basically see everything, right? He can already
I just
see
think
pretty
that that
well,
happens though.
huh?
Just to a lesser, it just it this
No,
that
because
happens,
he
but to a
tried to
lesser extent.
no, because he tried to keep his no, because he was
In the tent,
basically
he has
denying
visions with Lady Jessica.
he was denying the water of life, and Lady Jessica's like, you need to take the water of life. He's like, no, I can't go south. Whereas in the book,
But then, I don't know.
he realizes I need to take this water of life. He does it on his own accord, and then Lady
He does
Jessica's
that
like,
in the movie though.
no, he does it because Lady Jessica tells him to. In
No,
the
he she
book,
says to tell him, and then he tries to reject her until finally he goes into the desert and talks to the desert spirits, and then they are like, "You need to take the water of life." And so then he
okay,
goes by himself
he does it
and
on his
takes it.
he does it on his own accord in the book, without Lady Jessica knowing or wanting him to do that. And then Lady Jessica just finds him, and he goes in a coma for 3 weeks. And Chani, she's like, I need Chani to come. She's the only one that can revive him, pretty much.
Which is what
And
happens in the movie.
correct, but Lady Jessica forces her to. And in the book, Chani does it out of love and care.
But I think that it's a better
I
choice
don't.
in the film because when Chani then saves him and slaps him, I think that is such a powerful moment.
I think that's the pettiest moment
No,
ever.
because it is exactly who Chani is in this film. In this moment, the people have watched their Messiah be be alive. It is proven to all these people standing around that their Messiah is there. And Chani, being the non-believer who just sees Paul, smacks him. It is the perfect characterization of who she is as a character. And I think that's what works so well. It is exactly who she is.
I think it's petty. Even for Chani's
But that's
character
who
in this
she
movie,
is. But
I
that's who
think
she
it's,
is.
but I think it's shitty.
I
Anyway,
just think
back
it
to the
works
original
perfectly.
argument.
Yeah.
In the book, in the way I prefer it, I don't want Paul to be like an absolute arrogant dick. I want
But
him
that's
to
just
know
not
everything
likable.
and do whatever the. That's the point, though. He becomes the villain in Messiah. I'm pretty sure.
He becomes the villain in this movie.
Not really.
He starts a holy war and
So
kills millions, if
he's the
not
protagonist
billions.
that we follow. We want to root for him. I like
But
it
that's
when
I
he.
think that's the point, is that by the end you realize you shouldn't have been.
See, but
Because
like,
because okay, here's my example. In the beginning of the film, it opens up with the Atreides bodies being burned by
right?
the remainder of the Harkonnens. And to you as the audience, this should be one of the most horrific things you've seen. These people have been slaughtered. And literally over it is Florence Pugh talking as the princess, saying that this, in a moment, a bloodline has been wiped out in one of the most horrific things that has happened. And then at the
Okay.
end of the movie, that shot is paralleled with the Fremen doing it to the Harkonnens,
Yeah, but that.
meaning meaning that it's come full circle, that the villain that you thought was so evil for what they did in the beginning, Paul is now doing that at the end. And so you realize that this cycle has happened once again with now Paul leading it,
But that doesn't make
which
Paul a
makes him the
villain.
villain. Yes,
No.
it does.
Getting revenge does not make you a villain.
Getting revenge on that scale does, yes.
Getting revenge on a ruthless people that rape and
Paul
kill.
is now Paul is now going against the entire universe, starting the holy war. They're going into their warships to go fight against every other house.
Yeah.
So if Paul was the hero, he would have took out the Harkonnens and then said,
I'm not
"Okay, I'm
saying
good."
him taking out the. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That does would make
I
him a
just think
villain, but I don't
that
think
that
the
makes
movie
him the
does
villain by
that in
the
a
end.
good. I don't think. Back to the original argument. He's
The
a
movie's better
dick.
than the book.
It's okay.
I think it adapts the
You can't say that
storylines
if you haven't read the
better.
book. I'm just gonna say that. You can't say one is better if you haven't.
But based on everything you told me, I think
If
that
you
the
haven't
storylines
consumed
that have been
both, you can't
chosen.
say one is better.
I'm just
Objectively.
saying, based on the storylines,
Objectively,
I
you
prefer the
cannot
characters
say
in
one is
this.
better if you haven't consumed both. That's like
I just
saying
think the storylines are better.
that's like saying if you've had M&Ms and Starburst, or if you've had M&Ms and not Starburst, M&Ms are better than Starburst. Starburst. But you haven't had Starburst. You
But I
can't
know I
say
like
it.
chocolate more.
Okay. You just
I
can't
know I
say it
like
though.
chocolate more. I'm just saying, I think that I prefer the characterization based on every single character you've talked about in this versus in the book. I like that the
You can
fact
say
that each
that.
character has their own characterization versus being a stepping stone for Paul. I think that is a very much more interesting story.
Maybe.
But
I agree that Fade Rautha was done very well in this film. I don't think that he should have
yes.
had more screen time because I don't know what you would have given him. Um,
Oh yeah, my take about Fade Rotha. I think the final battle in this is better than any single lightsaber battle I've ever seen.
okay, I'm not gonna go into that because I just disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Because
But
I think that lightsaber battles are too scripted. They're like a dance, where this felt like a fight. And that is my complaint.
this felt really scripted as well. But
I disagree.
okay,
That's why I don't like the fight in Revenge of the Sith. Because it literally is them dancing with each other. Like there's points where they don't even hit each other and they're just like dancing.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
well. I think what we can agree on though is it's visually stunning.
yeah,
It is one of the most impressive filmmaking feats I've ever seen on a scale this large. I think that
yeah,
costume design, production design is at the upper echelon of what is possible. And
yeah.
I think that everyone acted their ass off, especially in my opinion. I think Lady Jessica Rebecca Ferguson was incredible here.
I agree.
So, I'm
Yeah,
very excited
I think every
for
acting
Dune,
job was great. I agree.
except
I
for
think
Zendaya.
Zendaya. I just think it was a miscast. You know, I think she did her best. I agree, but when
I
she was
think she had the
nurturing, she was
look.
good.
I think she had the look of the Fremen. I think that she was there for the Fremen. I just think that in the more serious moments she struggled.
Yeah, I agree. Um,
But Timothy Chalamet, Oscar on the clock.
I think he did very
Um,
well. Yeah,
apparently, according Denny has already started writing and is almost done with writing Messiah. Excited for that.
cool.
Um, I don't know. I truly believe this is one of the most incredible filmmaking feats I've ever seen. Story through production through everything. I understand it's different from the books, but I don't know. I think that the characterization was almost perfect from a level of each character. I understood their motivations and understood who they became. I think it worked well, but I think
Fair.
it's just an agree to disagree thing.
There are changes I like and changes I don't like.
Yeah,
I
I
like
really wish
Sildar.
you didn't read it now.
I like. Oh, cool. I probably wouldn't have watched it if I didn't read it because I didn't understand for the movie.
See,
Um,
I don't understand people say that.
because people aren't people that are a casual movie watcher that go to see this movie are not going to understand it
Like I would
without.
say Avery's a very casual movie watcher. Yes, she watches a lot more because of me, but like she understood 99% of what was going on.
In the first movie, though, you said that she asked a lot of questions.
I think initially, yes, it's hard to wrap your
Just
head
like me,
around,
I asked a
okay,
lot of
who are these
questions.
people? Who are these people? Like what is their goal? But once I think you get going, it's not hard to follow, especially because the way that Denny films everything, every single group looks very distinctly different from each other.
You know,
Like it's hard to be like, oh, that's not a Harkonnen compared to oh, that's a Fremen.
yeah, I'm just saying. I watched the first movie, I couldn't understand, and a lot of
That's
people.
yeah.
John
I
watched
think a
it,
lot of
he couldn't understand a lot of it. Avery watched it, she asked a lot of questions. Maybe she understood more than me and John, but I
which I
like
think is
wasn't into
yeah,
it. That's why I read the book so I could understand a little more context. And yeah, um,
understandable. But yeah, I guess it's just agree to disagree kind of thing.
yeah. The biggest issue is Chani. The other changes, fine, I can live with them. Chani's change, And again, it might have been Zendaya, and I couldn't take it seriously, but
No, understandable.
it is what it is.
I no, I just really I follow the Mujahideen anywhere, so well, not really because he's a bad guy, but
Yeah.
I really liked the portrayal of um, Gurney Halleck. Josh Brolin's a national treasure.
Yeah, he's pretty great. Um, and in the book, you can kind of tell that Paul is still very arrogant because Gurney wants revenge, and Paul doesn't grant him that revenge.
See,
So
I infinitely like the choice in the movie more. Like
I think his
it's
choice
not.
is fine.
It would have made me so annoyed reading that book if I got to that part and that happened.
Just how it goes.
I
I
just
think
think that
this choice
that's
was
so much
fine.
bull.
I thought it was pretty good. The fact that Raven put up no fight though, bruh.
Well, because he was better. That was the whole. I think that was the whole point of him is
Yeah,
that
but
he was
it was like
is that
immediate.
Raban was he was all show no fight, and the same reason he ran away and had to get saved earlier in the film.
Yeah. Um,
Like that's what I think is especially when we saw Fade Ratha is I guess on their planet they drug people before they fight them, so it makes it a lot easier.
they do. Yeah.
So that would be that Raban was just one of those people and didn't really fully get the get the fighting. But I'm excited to see Florence Pugh's character progress in Messiah. Very excited for everything to keep kind of going on. No, it's great. I'm in. I'm in. I'm fully in. I'm bought in.
Happy for you.
I think that what maybe when you read Messiah, we'll have a different opinion. And so if
Maybe.
that changes, we'll talk about it in the pod.
Yeah. Maybe. Hopefully.
I think you will,
You
because
think?
I think based on my understanding of Messiah, I think Messiah will have the most changes from movie to book.
Oh boy. All right.
Just based on where we're at in this story. So,
All right.
or is that our Dune talk? Just to recap, I give it a 5 out of 5 stars in Letterboxd, 99 out of 100. I think it's about as close to perfect as you can get. Up there with the best of the decade so far. It's that Oppenheimer. I mean, that's basically it as of now for up there. Just an incredible film.
I gave
It
it
boggles the mind.
3.5 to 4 stars. Not on the train. It's good, but I'm not upset that it's going to win a lot of Oscars. But I just think it was the changes. Some of the changes were silly.
Hey, and you're entitled to your opinion. That's what
Thank
makes movie
you. You called
podcast
my opinion
great.
stupid last week, so I appreciate.
I can think your opinion's stupid, but you're still entitled to it.
Okay. Well,
Um, all right, sequels time. All right, I've been thinking about how this draft is going to work. I've been really thinking about it. Here's how I think it should work. If you take something from a franchise, the franchise is now off the board. So
okay.
if you were to take Spider-Man 2, all other Spider-Mans are now gone.
Oh. Okay.
If you were to take Star Wars
Okay.
Empire, all Star Wars are gone.
All right.
I also think that you should be allowed to pick any sequel within the sequel timeline.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Am I
because you could
first or
pick
are
like
you
the
first?
third. I think it's you based on what I went first last time.
Okay.
And this is a draft, so we'll do that.
Snake.
Yep, snake draft it.
Cool. Probably prefer that.
All right.
Okay. Well, 1-1. I'm taking the Dark Knight.
Yeah. No, I think that is easily the 1-1.
Yeah.
No, that's the best choice. That is the way I feel about Dune and Dune 2 is the same way I feel about Batman Begins Dark Knight. I would say it's that level of jumping quality from 1 to 2.
I think that's a fair take.
And I think that The Dark Knight,
I think the
the
Dark
reason
Knight's
it
just
stands the test of time is because it's so just incredible.
it's
And
so good. Yeah.
it sucks. I think it's kind of gotten to this point where people are like clowning on it because it's like, oh, it's the film boy answer of like the best movie ever.
Because it's
Like,
awesome.
sorry that it's awesome. Like,
Yeah, it's
I'm not
great.
gonna, I'm not gonna be like mad at people for
It's
picking
one of the
stuff
best
that's
acting
like
performances probably ever.
incredible. Yes, I agree. So no, that's a great one. Um, my
Oh,
one
I'm actually
one.
very curious to see what these are gonna be.
Uh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Dune 2, which we
Okay.
talked
Yep.
deeply
Got a feeling.
about, and um, Terminator 2.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go Dune 2, Terminator
Really?
2. Yes, and I
Wow, you
would.
are leaving me with some good stuff.
Oh, this is probably the most full options
Yeah,
we've
you're leaving me
had
with
so far in
some
a
really
draft.
good stuff. I haven't
Yes.
seen Terminators, so I can't really.
So
Um,
T2, I think is, if I were to rank science fiction films of all time, T2 is easily top three.
hmm, okay.
Up there with Blade Runner and Dune 2. It's
We have
just
very different
incredible.
ideas of sci-fi and different likes, I'd say,
That's okay.
appreciations, because I'm going to take mine too as I'm going to take Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna take that.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew you were gonna take it.
Um,
I very, very fair.
so I could go two different routes right now. I don't think you're going to take crap.
I don't think you'll take any of these that I have, except for one. But I think that you're gonna take it, so I don't even have it on my list.
Uh,
What you gonna take?
just because I think I would die if I left this on the board and you took it, I'm going to take Two Towers.
Yeah, not on my list.
Okay. I think I would have just passed away if I
So you
left that.
didn't you didn't want number three.
Hmm?
You didn't want Return of the King.
That's not a sequel. That's a third.
I was considering we could take threes.
We can take threes. Oh, then I'm taking Return of the King.
Yeah, that was a part of the rules that you could take any sequel you want.
Oh, then yeah, Return of the King. Easy.
Okay, okay.
11 Oscars,
Um,
please.
um,
Please.
okay. I am gonna take.
I think you're going to take it.
Oh man, I'm gonna take Spider-Man 2
Okay.
and Top Gun Maverick.
I had a feeling you were going to take Top Gun Maverick. Okay,
Yeah.
so I have a question, and my follow
Yep.
up is either going to be it's probably going to be clowning. Does the fact that you took Spider-Man 2 mean I can't take Across the Spider-Verse?
No, I'll allow it.
I'm taking Across the Spider-Verse
Yeah. No,
as my
that's
four.
definitely that's a great choice.
Um, okay, so I've got a pretty gnarly
I
list.
know I have a lot. We'll get into honorable mentions I think for a little while because
So I've
I
got
have some
I've got
all
Dark
timers.
Knight, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the King, and Across the
Hmm.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take Paddington 2.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Hey Charles, have you seen Paddington 2?
Nope, and I wanted to watch it with you this week, but you watched it without me, so karma's a
Interesting how you
dish.
take something that you haven't seen.
Karma is
Interesting.
a dish best served cold.
Interesting. Um. Oh man.
Is that what you're
I
gonna
don't
take?
know. I have one that I want to take, but I don't think is the correct answer. Uh no, it's up there with the all-time sequels. I'm gonna take Shrek 2.
Okay.
It's up there with all-time sequels.
All
I think
right.
Shrek 2 is an amazing sequel.
All right.
All right, let's recap our list, and I want to talk some honorable mentions because I have a lot on this list of honorable mentions that I think are up there.
Okay. Um, I'll go first.
Recap yours real first, yeah.
Dark Knight, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the King, Across the Spider-Verse, and Paddington 2.
Yeah, it's a great
I
list.
think I won.
Um,
I think I won.
Dune
So
2, Terminator 2, Spider-Man 2, Top Gun Maverick, and Shrek 2. For honorable mentions, I also had Blade Runner 2049, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Back to the Future 2. Um, I
We had
had.
we had very different honorable mentions.
What were yours?
I had Toy Story 2,
Great, great choice.
Winter Soldier,
Interesting.
Catching Fire,
Okay.
and Monsters University.
Okay. Definitely not on mine. Um, I'm trying to think of other. Oh, I had what is it? I had Goblet of Fire on mine. Honorable
Deathly Hallows
mentions.
Part 2.
I had the I had the Last Night, the Last Jedi. I mean, on mine. Um,
Bruh. Anyone.
I'm trying to think what else I had.
Jesus.
I did have Paddington too. Hand up, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, the Godfather Part Two,
Oh, that's
which
a good one.
arguably is
You
maybe
should
the
have
greatest
taken
film
that.
of all time. Which arguably is maybe the best film of all time.
Why didn't you take that?
Because I like these ones better as
Oh,
sequels. I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's like any other ones we're missing. Oh, Megamind 2, you know. Puss in
Finding
Boots,
Dory.
The Last Wish.
How to Train Your Dragon 2. I thought about taking that too.
I thought about Rocky 4. I thought about that. I thought about Avatar: The Way of Water.
Mm-hmm.
Um, trying to think. Oh, I thought of Temple of Doom.
Yeah, I also thought about Indiana Jones.
I thought about Temple of Doom.
The second Pirates of the Caribbean.
I was thinking Mad Max Fury Road.
I think the second. I think the second Pirates of the Caribbean is the best one. I forget what it's called.
That's probably also.
With David
Yeah, I was
Jones.
thinking Mad Max Fury Road. Creed. Thinking Creed. Aliens.
Dead Man's Chest. I think that's the best Pirates of the Caribbean.
22 Jump Street. Um, John Wick Chapter 4. Mission Impossible. Any of them, honestly, they're all incredible. I was thinking maybe Fast 5 for Fast and Furious take.
Avengers: Infinity War.
Yeah.
Um,
Damn, there's some really good sequels. What?
yeah, there are.
Now that I'm thinking about this. Um, yeah, no. I'm looking around my room to see if I have a poster of a sequel that I didn't take that I feel really bad about. No, I'm good.
Pretty solid.
There's some. I was thinking Kill Bill Part 2, but I kind of think that's like a one long movie. So I don't really know if I count that. Skyfall for James Bond sequel. Do you really are those counted? Yeah, I would say those are counted. Evil Dead 2.
22 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Kung Fu Panda 2.
Kung Fu Panda 2. Yeah.
Wow, there's some really good ones. What? Now that I'm thinking about this, I think that we could have had like 10 lists and they all would have been great. I'm looking at this list that Variety put out of
I think
list.
there
Oh,
might.
Logan. Logan.
I saw that one. I haven't seen it though. So
Um Blade 2, Evil Dead 2. Oh, Matrix Reloaded. Wow, there's
a
some
lot of
good ones on
sequels.
this list.
I think. I think
I
Hunter there
think
might
I
be.
won.
I just don't. I was about to say I think there's a clear winner. And
I think that I won.
okay,
Okay, wait. Can you read yours again? Can you read yours again?
Dark Knight, Empire
Okay.
Strikes Back,
Uh-huh.
to Return of the King, Across the
Yeah.
Spider-Verse, and
Yep.
Paddington 2.
Yep. I think that I won.
I
Let's
think
just
if
say
we
that
asked
every
anyone, I would have.
listen,
Anyone who has seen
listen.
most of these movies,
No,
anyone.
all of them. They need to see all of them.
Oh,
Because I noticed
they need
no,
to
no,
consume all
because
of them. So they have to consume everything to have an opinion.
I'm sorry, did you not tell me earlier that I couldn't have an opinion on the book that I didn't read? Because I didn't consume it? Interesting. Hmm. Oh,
So
we
we
should have
both
homework to watch
contradicted
there.
ourselves.
I didn't.
Yes, you
I'm just
did.
saying that
You just
When
said
did
they
I?
have to have seen all of them, consumed all of them, but earlier you said you don't have to have consumed the book.
I allowed Paddington 2 to stay on your list. You've never seen it.
Okay.
Out of the generosity of my own heart, I allowed that.
Okay, we both just contradicted ourselves, but
It's fine, whatever. All right, let's talk about programming because some stuff's coming up the next week. Got to talk about. All right, podcast today, March 3rd. Exciting.
very exciting.
Then we'll have a podcast come out Sunday, March 10th, but we will be recording it Thursday, March 7th. Because of that, it's going to be a Kung Fu Panda 4 review. But because of that, we will not be unfortunately able to talk about the Oscars on that podcast. Now, I'm going to tell you right now as a fan, the Oscars this year are probably the easiest to predict of any other year that's been in like the last decade. So don't worry about it. Nothing crazy is going to happen. If something crazy does happen, I'll record something quickly, put it in the pod. We're good to go. Moving on. There will be no podcast on Sunday, the 17th of March. There will be an extra long podcast because we'll be talking about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire on Sunday, March 24th, and we'll recap all the news that we missed that last week because we'll be on spring break. That is the programming, and then we'll be back to normal the rest of time until we die. So, and we got some great movies coming up. So it's after our break, we go Ghostbusters, Godzilla, Monkey Man, Civil War, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Soldiers, Challengers, The Fall Guy, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, If, Garfield, and Furiosa. So we have one movie a week until June 31st. We're so back.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, we're cooking. We are cooking. So, pretty exciting time for the podcast. We're taking a week off to kind of recoup and then push it into
And then we're going to be
the
back
pod.
stronger than ever.
Yes, yeah, we're gonna go to Japan. We're gonna talk to some people about their movie opinions there. Maybe, probably not, but I would like to go to a Blu-ray store and find at least a couple Blu-rays that are Japanese exclusive. So, yeah, that's about it. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you all go see Dune 2. Let that spice flow. Go find out who the Lisa El Gaib is. Spoiler alert: it's Paul, maybe. Um, but yeah, anything else on your end, Charles?
Nope, just my list is better. That's it.
Yeah, well, we'll find out because I'll post it on Instagram and you guys will vote. Also, be sure to follow us on socials, all that stuff. Rate us on Spotify; it helps a ton. 5 stars. Tell us how cool and adorable we are.
Yeah.
No biggie, but yeah. Well, thank you so much, and hey, have a great week at the movies. See ya.